MGF Customs and Reviews.
What's going on, guys? This is Michael MGF, and today I'm going to be doing another LEGO Star Wars Summer 2013 set review, and this time I've got the highly anticipated ATTE. The set number for this one is 75019, the recommended ages are 9 through 14, and the piece count is 794. So this set, I was really excited to find out that we were finally going to get another ATTE, because it's been since 2008 that we that we've been without an ATTE, or at least a new one. And I mean, the old one that we got in 2008, that was the Clone Wars variation of the ATTE Walker, and this is the variant of it when it appeared in the live-action film Attack of the Clones. And I've got to say, this is probably not the LEGO Group's fault, but I really did notice a lack of color with this ATTE. There's really only red on the front, and then the rest is just really dull from that point on. And obviously that's something they fixed when they were animating the Clone Wars, because I remember the old ATTE being a lot more color vibrant than this one. But regardless, it's still a nice build. I'm not going to lie, I do kind of like the old one more. And the minifigures with this one, though, are almost just as good as the old one. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to pick between the two sets, because last year we got like Anakin, or 2008, we got like Anakin, Ahsoka, and just a really great assortment of minifigures, great features. We had a ton of room for minifigures inside, unlike this one, and it's just, there are some flaws to go over with this set. So, but before we go over them, let's go ahead and take a look at the minifigures. Alright, so starting off with Mace Windu, and there's really nothing new here aside from the legs. In Palpatine's arrest, we got Mace Windu, but the Jedi robe, I believe he had printed dark tan legs. Maybe he didn't have printed legs at all, but regardless, these legs are different than the variation of Mace Windu that we received back in the Palpatine's arrest, and the Jedi robe continuation is printed onto a pair of white legs, and definitely looks pretty nice. The color doesn't match the dark tan color of the, his torso quite that accurately, but it is still really nice looking, as it's nice to get a difference between the two minifigures, because, obviously their outfits were different back in Attack of the Clones than they are compared to Revenge of the Sith variations. You can see he does not have any back printing, and that's a real letdown, because Coleman Trebor has back printing and Mace Windu doesn't. There's a inconsistency there that I'm not really fond of. The head is really nice, couldn't be better. Definitely a really great version of Mace Windu, just really would have preferred back printing. So here we go with Coleman Trebor, the Jedi who got shot off the balcony in the Geonosis Arena by Jango Fett, and also looks like a dinosaur species that I cannot remember the name of right off the top of my head. But regardless, it is still a really great minifigure. Unlike Mace Windu, he has back printing. But yeah, it's a pretty standard Jedi robe. You can see he has the gray skin tone on the chest there to match his his skin color. So that's pretty cool. And the utility belt is very detailed on the front, and so is the continuation of it on the back. He's equipped with a standard green lightsaber, and I didn't mention it before if it wasn't obvious already, but Mace Windu was equipped with his signature purple one. The leg printing is pretty nice. It's pretty much just a continuity of the Jedi robe, just down onto his legs there. It's pretty simple, just some basic lines, but it's still definitely very nice. But definitely the main thing that I want to go over here with this minifigure is his head, and his head is a completely new mold. It's really cool, very accurate. You have the eyes printed on there, which is definitely very nice. It's not like Chewbacca without eyes, but that'll change with the 2014 sets, of course. But anyway, it's really just a new mold, and it's just a great sculpt overall. I think it looks just like Coleman Trebor, and there's really not much else I can add to it other than that. So there is Coleman Trebor, a new Jedi. I'm not gonna lie, he's not exactly the. And there's also an accuracy problem here, is that he never made it to the battlefield on Geonosis. He was shot down before the Battle of Geonosis was taken outside the arena. Just something I nitpicked on, but LEGO does that all the time with their characters, and they'll throw in sets that died before they actually reach that point in the story. So it doesn't really matter. Just figured I'd point it out though. Yay for more long blasters! Seriously, I can't wait till these connectors are taken off the blaster rifles. But then we're gonna get those random like stud launching blasters in the 2014 sets, which I'm not really looking forward to. But anyway, you can see this is the Clone Commander, and the Clone Commander is awesome. I honestly, when we got the Clone Lieutenant or the Clone Sergeant, when these Clone Troopers first made their way into LEGO sets, I didn't really think we'd get multiple different colors of these Clone Troopers that quickly, and I'm just glad that we did get the Clone Commander. However, the Clone Commander did not pilot the ATTE, and I would have welcomed another clone trooper, as this is the only clone trooper you get with the set, unfortunately. Maybe a standard clone trooper would have been a nice addition to the set, and I don't think it would have killed LEGO to do so. So having a clone commander by himself is a little bit strange, but I'm glad that we did get him, as standard clone troopers are available in other sets, and you can see this minifigure is really detailed. He has the standard look, you know, the standard template for the torso, the standard template for the back that we've been getting with these clone troopers, and the standard design for the helmet, which we've also been getting, just with the implementation of the yellow markings on his helmet and torso. You can see on his torso there, it's the standard clone trooper torso. Looks great, very detailed, very accurate. It just has the 4 dots to, you know, signify his rank as being a commander. And he also has a nice, you know, the back printing is very nice. It's just he does not have any anything to, you know, designate his rank on his back, but that is accurate, so it doesn't really matter. It's a great detail. It's a great level of detail on the back there, and then the helmet is also very nice. And because he is one of the high-ranking clone troopers and not a standard clone trooper, he is sporting the silverish gunmetal colored visor on his helmet there, so that's very nice. And then the head that is included is just your basic clone trooper head that we've been getting, you know, throughout all the clone troopers this year. So definitely very nice minifigure overall, and glad that we did eventually get a clone commander. Now into the figures that no one cares about, the battle droids, and this is my opinion. You know, they're kind of useless to me because you can't get these in large quantities on Bricklink or anything, so they're just kind of thrown into this set. But anyway, so this is pretty much just your standard battle droid. Just, you know, it's got the removable arms and legs. For those of you who don't know, you can remove the head as well. It's very posable. It's a great minifigure overall, but I really do think everyone has seen battle droids here. And pretty much the only thing that's unique about this one is on the head there. You can see he has this yellow stripe on there, and that's obviously to designate his rank as being a commander. So you have a clone commander and a commander droid in this ATTE, so that's pretty cool. And you can see he has a little yellow dot also printed on the torso there. So other than that, he's just a standard battle droid, and of course he's fully posable, comes with a standard blaster, and definitely a really cool minifigure overall. Okay, now that I explained the clone commander, there's not much to say about this guy. He's pretty much the exact same minifigure, just without the yellow marking. So no yellow marking on the torso and no yellow marking on the head, and that's really it. Alright, so now into the ATTE itself. I guess we'll go ahead and start off with the main gun on top here. You can see it rotates a full 360 degrees, and the interior of the mechanism is a little bit, it has some bumps in it, like it's very jagged, so as a result, the ATTE, the main gun on top, it clicks, and it is frozen in place wherever you leave it. So I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit noisy, but if you don't want your your main ATTE gun spinning all over the place whenever you're moving the vehicle, it's really nice and convenient to have it just move and then just stop. It just pretty much locks into place, and it's not a nuisance at all. So that's really nice. And then you also have the main gun itself, which is pretty decently posable. What you're seeing right there are its limitations. So it's definitely nice to get some more posability with different sections on this set. And you can see it has a couple of flick fire missiles on the top of it there, or at least on the gun, and they flick very nicely. But like all flick fire missiles, they're really not that effective, and you have the potential possibility of that happening in the front of them just popping off. So flick fire missiles are just never really great to have, in my opinion, and they're really not as effective as they could be. And a good example of that would be the previous set I reviewed, the Star Hopper, that actually has a mechanism built in for the flick fire missiles, and that's when the flick fire missiles actually work, in my opinion. But then you can see we have the seating right here for the turret on the top, and pretty much there are no studs right there on the seat. The minifigure just pretty much sits right there. You just drop him in, and he does not attach to the turret, and pretty much when you're still spinning it, he's going to shake a lot and probably get pretty dizzy, or at least have a headache, because he's being shaken quite a bit, very violently, by the mechanism that the turret is mounted on. But it's still a nice design in general, and I really don't have any complaints with it. The front of the cockpit is very nice. You can see it's pretty much the only section of the vehicle that has dark red color to it, and it's a really nice design. You have the ball turrets on the front here, which have the potential possibility of breaking off, but ball turrets have always been that way. So I mean, they're still a nice design. They are very posable, and can pretty much be angled whichever position you'd like them to be. But then we go ahead, and the way the cockpit opens is a little bit strange. Pretty much, it slides out just like that. And you have the seating attached to the front of the vehicle's cockpit. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't think that's accurate to the ATTE. Maybe it is, and maybe I'm just mistaken. If you'd like to take a look at Wikipedia for me, that'd be great. Just leave a comment below if I'm mistaken, but I don't believe that the actual seat slides out with the front of the entire cockpit. It's a little bit unrealistic in my opinion, but who knows? Maybe the actual design of the ATTE from Attack of the Clones is unrealistic. But regardless, you can see it has a nice set of bars here. The window piece is very clear. You can see the minifigure very clearly, even when you see him inside the dark cockpit in there. But you can see the problem with this is the fact that you can attach his hands to the control sticks, but when you slide him back in, unfortunately, he will the control sticks will be knocked out of place. And then if you don't have his arms bent up high enough, then he too will fall out of place and pretty much fall out of his seat, and that's a little bit unfortunate. So I'm not gonna lie, this really isn't the best design for the cockpit in my opinion. It still works though, and it is still efficient regardless of some flaws that you have to watch out for. But yeah, so there's the cockpit and the front of the ATTE. Now moving on to this here, we have the handle. And the handle is a pretty basic design. We've been getting handles a lot lately now. And I'm not going to lie, this one is probably one of the worst because when you have your two fingers, it's pretty much meant to be held like this with two fingers. And when you do so, your fingers will collide with the main gun here if it is, positioned in its standard pose, just straight forward. So pretty much your fingers, if you have big hands like mine, then they will pretty much be grasping onto the seat on the turret there, and that's a little bit annoying because when I want to pick up my ATTE, I don't want to be grabbing onto the turret as well, because then it also has the possibility of breaking off, and that's no fun. But if we go ahead and open up the front of the ATTE here, you can see the front, the top of it opens up very nicely with the gun still attached to it, the main turret. And what's great about the ATTE is how accessible it is. You can pretty much open up these flaps and gain access to whatever part of the vehicle you want. And you can pretty much get an idea of where these flaps are. You have one here, and then two on the back, so 4 in total, making the interior of the vehicle very accessible. Now the problem with it is, what interior is there? There's really not a lot going on in there, but we've got a missile rack, so that's what matters, right? We've got missiles, because it's not like the ATTE isn't already pimped out with guns. It's, we need 4 more missiles, so I think that's definitely important, and we need to set them up. We need to pull them out of the ATTE, set them up on the ground, and then shoot them at battle droids, because that makes sense. But either way, you can see the missiles are attached there, and you can still flick them just like any other flick fire missile. I'm not going to actually flick them though, even though I tried there. You can see that you have 2 green ones and 2 blue ones, so pretty nice design. They slip back into place very nicely, and they're not going to go anywhere, so that's really cool. But the problem with this is there's no interior. You can't seat any minifigures in there. I mean, you can cram a minifigure right into that really confined space in there, but without some modification of your own, you're not putting any minifigures in the front there, and that's unfortunate because that's something that was not the case with the older ATTE. But if we go ahead and fold it back up here, it's still, what I like about it is how accessible all of this is, and how you can fold out all the flaps, and no matter how, whatever you do to them, they're still going to lock right back into place, and it's just a really nice design. And the same can be said for the back here. We can go ahead and open it, and you can see we have the 2 ball turrets on the back here. Let me go ahead and show you those real quick, actually. We have the 2 ball turrets on the back, which are pretty much the exact same design as the ball turrets on the front, so really cool ball turrets. But yeah, so then this flap is pretty much completely free. It's just attached to 2 connector pieces, and so pretty much you're gonna want to just fold it right back down when you're opening it, so that it doesn't attack you and break and bad stuff. But if we go ahead and do the same as we did to the front there and completely open up the back here, you can see we don't have a lot going on in here, but we do have some sort of space for minifigures, and we can go ahead and put Mace Windu here, and then we can also go ahead and put Coleman Trebor right behind him. But the problem with this is that's all you can fit in this vehicle, and that's a problem because in the older ATTE, if you just put a plate or 2 inside of it, inside the interior, you could fit up to, I don't know, maybe 6 minifigures just in the back, but it's just this is really not minifigure friendly, and that's a problem, and it's not really something I'm very fond of. But taking them out, you can see we have two very nice stickers in there. You know, they're like kind of like control panels, some buttons you can push there. And then in here we have this crate, and this crate has some thermal detonators in it. If we go ahead and pop the top off, the instruction manual only tells you to put in 2 thermal detonators, but you're given a extra one as an extra piece. So you know, honestly, you might as well just put all 3 of them in there. And they're very cool. I definitely love the printing on them. Just really cool pieces. Thermal detonators are, you know, an icon, an iconic weapon utilized by all or most Star Wars characters in the Star Wars universe. So really cool to, you know, actually see them become an official piece and an official accessory for minifigures. But yeah, then here we also have a ladder for the back of the ATTE, and you can't really do anything with it. It's not going to fold back up into the cockpit. I mean, you can do that with it. It's going to go that far, but if you don't want it there, you're just going to have to simply pull it off. And it's a little bit of a pain, given that, you know, you're not really supposed to pull it off, but if you go ahead and just pull it off like that, it's not going to be in your way, and it won't look strange having a ladder coming down the back of it when it's in combat, when the vehicle is in combat. But if we go ahead and fold this back up here, you can see it, like I said, just like that, it locks, everything locks right back into place, no problem, and that is definitely very convenient. So lastly, for the final feature of this vehicle, we have the actual legs, the 6 giant legs that really define the ATTE as the transport it is, and they are very posable. What I'm going to show you is pretty much the limitations for as far as each one of the legs can go. You can pretty much see that's as far as the front legs are able to go. The same, and it is pretty much the same. The legs here are the same as the legs on the back, and what you're seeing, like I said, is as far as they can go, and really that's all they need to do. They don't really need to do much. Right there you already have enough room to make it appear as if it's walking, so that's really cool. And you can also see we have this leg right here, which is also very posable, and what I like about the feet is how they are completely free. They can rotate, they can bend up and down in all ways, and there's absolutely no problem with it. It's completely designed to be efficient with you know, actually landing the vehicle down and, you know, making sure that it stays put on a flat surface in total. You know, especially because if we just go ahead and just plant it, drop it down, the feet, they fall right into place, and that's honestly very efficient in my opinion. So very cool there. But lastly, let's go ahead and take a look at sticker locations for the ATTE. You can see we have Republic symbols, and pretty much what you see on this side is the same on the opposite side. So we have a Republic symbol here, some detailing stickers here and here, so 2 of those, and that is the exact same on the opposite side of the vehicle. Obviously they're inverted, but you can see on the top of the ATTE we have some stickers right here for detailing purposes, and they look very nice. So you have 1 sticker here, 1 here, and then 1 here, so these 2 are symmetrical and definitely look very nice. And then we also have a sticker right there, right underneath the main turret, once again for detailing purposes, so it's very nice. And then we also have that 1 sticker that I pointed out in the back of it here, with the, you know, the buttons and the different control panels right there. So definitely pretty cool. Get some nice stickers with this set. But nothing too insane, you know, just some extra detail, you know, just some extra stickers for additional detail. Yeah, so other than that, there's really not much else to go over with the ATTE. I think it's a great design, a great model, but I just really feel like it would have been necessary, in my opinion, to have you know, a decent amount of space for your minifigures to actually you know, seat themselves in, because it's like, this is the ATTE. It's like all-terrain troop escort or something like that. I forgot the last letter. But it's meant to transport troops into battle, and not to only transport 2 Jedi in a little confined small space in the back. So I just kind of feel like I'm really missing out on the whole troop bay portion of the all-terrain troop transport here. Even though that's not what the letters stand for. But regardless, it's still an ATTE. It's still going to look great in MOCs, and it's still going to serve its purpose for what it is. And there's no use in buying the old one. It's gone up in price, and you have a whole new one right here. So what's the point? And that's really what it all comes down to in the end. So for that reason alone, I'm going to have to recommend this set for any fan who is a fan of the prequels or Star Wars The Clone Wars, for that matter. Like myself, I absolutely adored the prequels and the Clone Wars TV series. Freaking, those shaped me into who I am. So if you're like me, I definitely recommend the ATTE Walker. It's a great addition, especially if you missed out on the first one. So there's the ATTE. The box is very nice. I definitely remember the older ATTE's box being a lot bigger than this one, but you can see it's still pretty nice with a very nice graphic on top. Really captures the look of the Battle of Geonosis with the explosions and with the whole effect of the you know, the ground being mashed beneath the giant legs from the ATTE. So really nice design there. We have all the different minifigures right there. You can see it says new, 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 because all 4 of which of the minifigures are new, of course, which I went over earlier. And you can see you have the specs on the side there, and then on the top we have the minifigures that are included with the set, with Mace Windu sporting the actual size reference. And then the back here we have a action shot up in the top corner there, along with all the features that I just showed you. So yeah, definitely a pretty nice box for a pretty nice set. So obviously this is one of the larger sets, so we get a total of 2 instruction manuals with it, and you can see the first one is pretty nice. It's really not that hard of a build, I'm not going to lie. I built the set in like an hour and a half, if that. You can see we have the checklist right here in the very back for the rest of the summer line, excluding the HH-87 Starhopper and the Old Republic set, along with the Ewok Village, and then we also have an advertisement for the Yoda Chronicles. And then, I mean, the first book itself is like 64 pages, so nothing insane at all whatsoever. And then if we go ahead and take a look at the second instruction manual, you can see we have the parts list, and then the second one is only a short 48 pages. So like I said, really not a challenging build at all whatsoever. But yeah, so there are the 2 instruction manuals for the ATTE. Like I said, really a simple build, and one that you're probably just going to zoom right through. It's really not challenging at all in my opinion. But yeah, there you go. So the extra pieces that are included with this set, you can see you get a very nice assortment of extra pieces. You get a lot, actually. This is one of the larger sets, isn't it? You get an extra lightsaber hilt, you get some extra droid arms. You have the 2 different varieties of droid arms there, the two different variations. And just a lot of different extra pieces, some connectors and an extra antenna, some plates, some studs, some translucent studs, and just a nice wide variety of extra pieces. So you're definitely covered in case you lose one of these smaller pieces.
We've lost our momentum. I'm falling back to the walker.
I'll meet you there. Master Windu, open the hatch. No more room, but I'll die out here. If I open this up, so will I.
Kill him.
You know the General wasn't kidding. There really isn't any room back there. Alright guys, so that concludes my review on the LEGO Star Wars Summer 2013 ATTE, and I'm not gonna lie, the minifigures, for one, that were included with this set, they're not as cool as the minifigures were that we got with the older ATTE back in 2008, and the ATTE itself is a solid build, and I definitely like it, but, you know, like I mentioned, it's just the cockpit that's completely slides out. I'm not even sure if that's accurate to the vehicle or not. Let me know in the comments section below, but it's a bit unrealistic and strange how when you just pull it out, it just kind of like the entire thing slides out. I don't think that's actually how an ATTE is. Maybe it is. I don't know. But once again, let me know in the comments if I am mistaken. And I'm really just not fond of how you can't really seat that many minifigures in the troop bay, and how you can barely even stick your hand inside the first troop bay and toward the front. But I mean, other than those flaws, it's still a solid ATTE. I like it, and it's pretty much what you would expect from a more modernized model or version of this model, and I definitely recommend it to everyone and anyone, and I think it's a great set. I think $90 is definitely a good price for it, definitely. And yeah, so I mean, there are some sets in the summer line that were poorly priced, and then there were sets like this that are priced in a great way. And another thing to point out is the old ATTE, we got a blue stab for the battle droids, and we don't actually get one with this set. Obviously, it's based on the Attack of the Clones, not the Clone Wars TV series, but still. Wouldn't have minded like a some sort of stab like that, but yeah, so that's the ATTE, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the review. If you found it informative, be sure to leave this video a like below, as it really does go a long way, and your support is very much appreciated, and a lot of work goes into these reviews, so like I said, any support is very much appreciated. You can also follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Links to both of those are also in the description below, and there I post all kinds of updates and photos of what I'm up to and what's to come for this channel, and if you did follow one of those, you'd know, you probably have an idea of what the next review is going to be on. But other than that, guys, I think that's it, and I will see you guys later. Alright.
Bye.
ATTE. The set number for this set. The set number for this set. That's good. The minifigures that come with this set are really, really awesome. I don't know the freaking price. Gosh damn it. MGF. And today I'm going to be doing the Lego Star Wars Summer. No. So you get. Wait, I need to change the camera angle. Wait. Should not be showing the extra pieces yet. Great. Fantastic. Another sticker right here on the front, like on the